Good morning, students. Myself Dr. Prema, working as professor in the Department of Computer Science. Welcome back to the video lecture series on data structure and application subject. So here we'll discuss about the linked list, insertion and deletion at the end of the linked list. These are the course outcomes of our data structure subject. As we have discussed in the previous video, singly list consists of a set of nodes, 0 nodes or more number of nodes. When there are no nodes in the list is known as the empty list. If there are more number of nodes, then it is known as a singly linked list. And every node in the list consists of two parts, information part and the link part. Information field is used to store the data values, such as if we are creating a linked list for student information system, then the student data such as name, roll number, VTU number, marks scored in different subjects are stored in the information part of the node, and one node represent one student details. The second node address is stored in the link field of the first node. Like this, we can store the information about the student or an item or an employee into the first part, and a link can be used to link the further nodes in the list. The different types of list we have discussed in the previous video are singly linked list, doubly linked list, circular singly linked list, circular doubly linked list. In this slide we have the node in the list is having the value 20, second node is having value 30, third node is having value 40. The node with value 40 is known as the last node in the list or the end of the singly linked list because its link field is having a null character. The first node is indicated by the variable first. The first node is stored at the memory address 2004, second node is stored at memory address 1020, third node is stored at the memory address 2012. So these memory addresses are stored in their respective link fields. The variable first can be used to access any node in the linked list. As we have discussed, self-referential structure can be used to create the nodes. So for that we have the struct node int info node star struct node star link. Then we are creating user defined data type capital node by writing type def struct node star capital node. So user defined data type node can be used in further programs to create the n number of nodes in the linked list. As discussed in the previous video, we can create an empty list by first creating the structure for the node, then type defined struct, that is user defined node can be used. Then we are creating one variable first of type node, then as the list is empty we are assigning first equal to null. So after this the list looks like this with a null value. The list is not having any nodes, so it is having only the null pointer. So this is how we can create the empty list. Then we can create the nodes by using a get node function. In this, the first step is to create a variable x of type user defined data type node, where x can have two parts, info and the link. For that we are allocating the memory dynamically using a malloc function. So if the malloc is unable to allocate the memory, it has to display an error message. For that reason we are checking the x value as if x equal to null, then we are displaying the error message out of memory exit 0. Otherwise we are returning the starting address of the memory allocated with the variable name x. So this is how we can create a single node using the get node function, memory allocation for the single node using the get node function. Now in this slide we have a three-step procedure to create a node with a specific value, that is the item. The first step is step 1, first equal to get node, that is a get node will allocate the memory for the node, and the starting address of that memory is stored in the variable first. So after the step 1 it looks like this. The node is created with the two fields and the starting address is stored in first. Then to store the value we have to go to step 2 by writing the statement in first arrow info equal to 10. That is the value that I want to store in the node is the value 10, and that can be stored into the information part of the node. And the third step is to store the null character in the link field. That can be done by writing the statement first arrow link equal to null. So after 3 steps, a node is successfully created with the value 10, its link field to be null, and the starting address of this node is stored in first. So as memory address is stored, we are declaring first to be a pointer variable as star first here. Then once the node is not needed in the list, or when you want to delete the node you have deleted successfully, after that it is the responsibility of the programmer to reallocate the memory which is allocated for that variable. For that we are using a free function. Free variable name is the syntax for the free function. By this, using the free function, the memory space allocated for the node is deallocated and it is returned to the operating system so that the same memory can be utilized for some other program. So at the end of the program, before closing the main, we are writing free first, because first is the variable which is allocated the memory using dynamic memory allocation function in getNode function. So this is how we can create the node, allocate the memory, create the node, and once it is not needed by the program, you can deallocate the memory using free first. So in this video, I am explaining about how to add a new node at the end of the linked list, which is known as the rear end of the list. So there are 5 steps. In step 1, we have 3 sub-steps. Create a new node. First subset is to create a new node using getNode function. So we have a node memory allocated for the node with the node having 2 parts. Then sub part 2 of the step 1 is then assign the name to it. I am assigning the name as temp. That is, the memory allocated for the node is having a starting memory address and it is stored into the variable temp. That we can do it by writing the statement temp equal to getNode. Then the third step, sub step of step 1 is insert an item into it. That is, to insert the new node into the existing list, we have to create one new node. For that, the memory is allocated using getNode and the starting address is stored in temp. But we want to add the information into that node. The new node information is 50. So this I want to add into that node. So for that reason, I have to write the statement as temp arrow info equal to 50. So by writing the statement, 50 value is stored into the information part of the new node indicated by the variable temp. Then as there are no further nodes, its link field should be set to null. That's why we are writing another statement temp arrow link equal to null. So after the first 3 sub-steps of step 1, the node is successfully created with the value 50, its link field to be null, and this new node is identified by the variable temp. This is the new node which I want to insert into existing linked list. Now here we have a figure with existing linked list having 3 nodes. The node values are 20, 30 and 10. 10 is the last node in the list. So as the heading says, inserting a node at the rear end, we have to insert the new node after this node value 10. Okay. So whenever we are inserting the node into the linked list, we have to check whether the list is empty or it has some node. The step 2 indicates when the list is empty. So if the list is empty, it is indicated by first equal to null. Then whatever the new node we want to insert, that becomes the first and the last node in the list. So that's why we are writing the statement if first equal to null, return temp. Now the third step comes into picture when the list is not empty. So if the list is not empty, we have to insert the new node at the end of the list. So how to get the address of the last node? To get the address of the last node, we need one more variable cur, which will point to the last node in the list. So, but to come to the end of the list, we have to make it to point to the beginning of the list. That can be done by statement cur equal to first. Then we can come to the end of the list by using a conditional statement while cur arrow link not equal to null, because the last node in the list is having its link field to be null. That can be used as a condition to come to the end of the list. or rear end of the list. So that's why I'm using while cur arrow link not equal to null. Then you can go to the next node by writing the statement cur equal to cur arrow link. So initially cur points to the node value 20, its link field is not null, so the condition of the while loop is true, so it will enter the body of the loop. The cur will move to the next node with the value 30, then its link field is not null, the condition of the while loop is true, again cur equal to cur means it will come to the third node with the value 10. Now here the while loop becomes false because the node cur is pointing to node 10, its link field is null. So you have come when the condition of the while loop is false, your cur is pointing to the last node in the list. You have come to the rear end of the list. Now your next step is to insert the new node, that is the variable temp, into the existing list. So after node 10 we have to insert node value 50 here. So that can be done by storing the address of node 50, that is temp, into the link field of cur. That can be done by with the step 4, that is insert the new node at the end by writing cur arrow link equal to temp. That is in the link field the next node is 50, its address is stored in temp. Temp we are writing here, that's why we have the statement cur arrow link equal to temp. So the node value 50 becomes the last node in the list after addition of the new node into the existing list, because this node has its link field to be null. So this is how we can successfully add the new node into the rear end of the linked list. So now the step 5 is return first, that is we have added the new node at the end of the linked list, we have to return the starting point of the list as first. So here I have written an insert where function which includes all the 5 steps which I have explained in the previous slides. So here we are passing 2 parameters, item, that is the node to be inserted, node first, this is the existing linked list. I am declaring the 2 variables temp and cur of type node. Temp is the new node to be inserted at the end of the linked list, and cur is the variable which is used to come to the end of the linked list, or the cur points to the last node in the linked list, after which we want to insert the new node. So initially to insert the new node we have to allocate the memory for the new node using the getNode function. Then we are adding the value into that node using the item variable, that is temp arrow info equal to item. Then we are storing the null value into its link field by saying temp arrow link equal to null. Then to insert the new node into the list, first we have to check whether the list exists or the list is empty. The list empty can be checked using first equal to null. So that's why we have the next statement, if first equal to null, then the temp, which is a new node to be inserted, becomes the first and the last node in the list, and its starting address is returned to the first. Otherwise we have to come to the end of the list, that is we want to insert the new node at the rear end of the list. That's why I am using cur variable which will indicate the end of the linked list. For that we have assigning cur equal to first, then using the while loop cur arrow link not equal to null, I am coming to the end of the list, and cur pointing to the last node in the list. When we want to insert the new node, the node address has to be stored into the link field of the last node. That can be written using the statement cur arrow link equal to temp. So this is very important step, students. So once you execute this statement, the node is successfully added into the existing linked list at the rear end of the linked list. Then we are returning starting address of the linked list as using the statement return first. Then close the function. So this is how all the 5 steps will add the new node at the rear end of the singly linked list. So here we have a function where we can delete the last node in the linked list or delete a node from the rear end. So there are 3 cases. Case 1, if the list is empty, then there is no point in going for a deletion. Case 2, when the list has only one node. Case 3, when the list has more than one node. So we'll see the case 1, when the list is empty, it is indicated by first equal to null. Then we have to write if first equal to null, then we have to display the error message list is empty, return null and exit 0. Okay. Then if case 2, then the list contains only one node, like shown in the figure. The first is pointing to the list having the node value 10. Okay. So how we can say the list has only one node? When the list has only one node, its link field will be null. So we have to test it by writing the condition if first arrow link equal to null, then that is the only node we want to delete. So we have to delete the information first. The whatever we are deleting, it has to be displayed on the screen. So we have a printf statement here, item deleted %d first arrow info. Then we have to deallocate the memory for that variable, for that node represented by variable first. So for that we have free first, then return null, because the list has only one node and that is deleted. Okay. So this is how the pictorial representation of the list with only one node deletion is shown here. First equal to 0 after deletion. Then case 3 is the list has more than one element in the list. So you have the list here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes, and the definition says we have to delete the node from the rear end, that is the last node to be deleted, that is the node value 50. Okay. So the list is having the starting point indicated by first, then the last node we want to delete is with the value 50. Now we have the next steps which will tell you how to delete that node. Now in case 3, the list has more than one nodes and we want to delete the last node in the list. The figure has the nodes list with 4 nodes with value 50, 20, 10 and 40. We want to delete the node value 40 here. So in this, the step 1 says to delete the last node, we need the address of the last node as well as the address of the last but one node, because we need to replace null value in the last node and the last but one node. So we need two variables. One is prev v equal to null and current equal to first. So we have here prev pointing to null, current equal to first. Then we have to obtain the two nodes here. The node to be deleted indicated by CUR, the previous node, the last but one node, that is indicated by prev. Okay. So we can obtain these two node addresses by writing the statement prev equal to null, CUR equal to first. Then using the while loop, we can come to the end of the list by writing CUR arrow link not equal to null. But when you are coming to the end of the list, we are storing the previous node address in prev, that is last but node 1 address in prev. So that's why within the while loop I have one more statement, prev equal to CUR, then CUR equal to CUR arrow link. So once you come out of this while loop, the CUR points to the node to be deleted and CUR points to the last node and prev points to the previous node from the node to be deleted. So in the previous slide you have seen how CUR will point to the node to be deleted and prev points to the previous node, the last but one node from the deleted node. So in step 3, to delete the last node pointed by CUR, then free the node, we have two statements, printf item deleted %d CUR arrow information, that is the last node in the linked list value is displayed. Then we are saying free CUR, means that node is deleted. Then once we delete that last node, the node previous to that node or the last but one node becomes the last node in the list. But the condition for the last node in the list is its link field should be set to null. That's why once the last node is deleted, the last but one node becomes the last node and we represent its link field to be null by writing prev arrow link equal to null. Then we return the first. So the last node is deleted, its previous node link field is set to null, so that we have the complete list starting with the first as the starting pointer of that list. So this is how the last node is deleted in the list and its previous node's link field is set to null. In this slide we have all the steps represented together with all the three cases. Case 1 is list is empty, case 2 is list having only one node, case 3 is list is having more than one node. So I have written a function delete rare, and when we want to delete the node, we are deleting the last node, so we are not passing any information about the node to be deleted here. So we are passing only the starting point of the node, that is first. Then we are declaring two variables cur and prev of type node. The case 1 is if the list is empty, then there is no need for deleting the node, so you have to display only the error message list is empty. That can be done by writing the statement if first equal to null, printf list empty, return first. Then case 2 is when the list has only one node, then that is the node to be deleted. So we can check whether the list has only one node or not by writing the statement if first arrow link equal to null. If this is true, then the list has only one node pointed by first. Then I display the message item to be deleted as first arrow info, that is delete that first node, free that first node, that is deallocate the memory allocated for first variable, then return null. Otherwise, that is case 3, that is list has the n number of nodes, you have to come to the end of the list, delete the last node, then node previous to that, that is last but one node's link field should be set to null. That can be written by writing prev equal to null, cur equal to first. While first arrow link is not equal to null, prev equal to cur and cur equal to cur arrow link. This while loop is used to come to the end of the list. The cur points to the last node in the list, prev points to the last but one node in the list. So once you have two pointers pointing to the last node and last but one node, you can delete the last node by free that node. Okay, so but last but one node's link field should be set to be null. That we can do it by writing the statement prev arrow link equal to null. Then free current, then return first. So this is how all the steps are included in this function, which will delete the last node in the list or delete a rear node from the linked list. Thank you students. Thank you for patient listening.